wintertime in the Northeast, but we're gearing up for the spring. And one of the new products that I just purchased was Lew's Speed Spool Super Duty. This is now available in an 8-to-1 gear ratio, and that's what I'm holding in my hand. This particular one I paired on a Duckett Micro Magic Pro. This is a brand new rod series from Duckett. This is the 710 extra heavy. So for this particular rod, I chose the Super Duty in 8-to-1 gear ratio. That's incredibly fast. It hauls a ton of line. This thing, for every turn of the reel, I'm pulling in 35 inches of line, which is really fast. It makes this thing ideal for flipping in heavy grass and heavy cover, and that's why I chose it for this particular rod. Now, the great thing about the Super Duty is to give you more cranking leverage, they actually extend the handle of this reel 10 millimeters, or roughly ½ an inch. So this is 95 millimeters, which is, again, 10 millimeters longer than their standard reels. It still features Lew's paddle handles, which are incredibly comfortable, and will give you a secure grip even when it's wet. It's meant for heavy duty applications, and that's why, yes, it is a little bit heavier, but for heavier duty applications you need beefier components, and unfortunately it does add a little bit of weight to the reel, but it's hardly noticeable. Inside and out, the Lew's Super Duty is built with bomb-proof construction in mind. It has an 11 bearing system, which makes it incredibly smooth, a brass cranking shaft, and all brass gearing inside, so it can handle all the torque that you can deliver. The Lew's Super Duty Speed Spool features a one-piece aluminum die-cast frame and handle side plate, and that's going to keep things super rigid when you're jacking big fish at a heavy cover. The opposite side features a graphite molded side plate, and that's going to keep things light and comfortable for flipping all day. Whether you're fishing a 1/4 ounce jig or a 4-ounce Alabama rig, the spool tension knob on the Super Duty allows micro click adjustments, so this thing you can tune to whatever bait you're fishing. So the Super Duty has a bomb-proof drag system. This thing allows you to dial in up to 14 pounds of drag into the reel with audible clicks. The spool on the Super Duty is a high-capacity anodized aluminum U-shaped spool. Now that's a mouthful to say. It holds a ton of line. In this case, I spooled the reel with 50-pound Gamma Torque braid, and I didn't have to use any backing, and that's because the spool is braid ready. And what that means is Lew's actually drilled a hole into the spool itself, allowing you to thread the braid on. You can tie 2 overhand knots and actually cinch it, and it'll lay flat on the spool. There's no slipping. You can just start to spool your reel from there. And that's, I think, a really fantastic feature, and I hope they add that to their entire line. So when you combine all of these features, you can see why Lew's called this particular reel the Super Duty. So check it out at tacklewarehouse.com.